You walk into a multi-million-dollar corporate negotiation, and you expect the mathematical precision of an engineer.
Right. You expect hard metrics in binary terms.
Exactly. But instead, the room's fate hinges on, like, folksy metaphors about beans, wooden buckets, and burning bridges.
It really does. It's everywhere.
It is. So welcome to this deep dive. Today we're exploring the hidden psychological rulebook of professional communication. We're actually breaking down 5 common English idioms that act as the strategic scaffolding for high-stakes business meetings.
Yeah, and mastering the underlying logic of these phrases is, your absolute shortcut to mastering boardroom dynamics.
Because it's a fascinating paradox, isn't it?
Oh, definitely. Like I said, we assume business is all clear metrics. But when the pressure is on, executives just retreat into these metaphors because they carry immense psychological weight. If you just take them at face value, you completely miss the strategic maneuvering happening right in front of you.
Right. So let's look at the 2 most sensitive assets you manage in any business, which are information and relationships.
Okay.
Let's start with information. We all know the phrase, "sco the beans."
Sure.
But in a corporate context, this isn't just about a harmless slip of the tongue. It's about the catastrophic loss of leverage.
Right, because information asymmetry is power. When someone prematurely reveals a core secret to a third party, they are completely surrendering that power.
Imagine a high-stakes scenario where you're launching a massive new product. Let's just call it the TUS project.
Okay, yeah.
It's totally under wraps. Then, someone carelessly leaks the specs to a competitor. They spilled the beans. To me, this is exactly like showing your poker hand before the bets are even placed.
Oh, absolutely. Your strategy is completely neutralized. And, just as easily as you can surrender information, you can permanently destroy a critical connection.
Right. Which brings us to burning bridges.
Yeah. In standard English, it just means ruining a relationship. But strategically, it's about the sheer danger of eliminating your own optionality.
Like, let's say you have a vendor who is just vastly underperforming. The instinct is to completely cut them off, aggressively.
But the seasoned executive knows you never sever those ties so deeply that you leave absolutely no room for future maneuvering.
Even if you're furious with them.
Exactly. You might despise that vendor today, but a supply chain crisis next year might make them your only lifeline. Refusing to burn bridges is just a calculated defensive maneuver.
To keep a safety net intact, no matter how frayed it is.
Right.
Okay, so that's defensive strategy. But what happens when the leverage is already gone? Like a relationship is damaged or a project just outright fails.
Well, then the psychology of the room has to shift toward damage control.
Which requires a very specific type of communication. You have to confront reality to, neutralize executive anxiety, right? Often by deciding to face the music.
Precisely.
Say a major testing phase fails completely. You have to walk into the CEO's office. You aren't just giving a status update. You are taking accountability.
And taking accountability using a framing like facing the music is highly strategic. It signals to leadership that you understand the gravity of the situation.
You aren't hiding behind excuses.
No. By willingly stepping into the line of fire, you actually de-escalate the tension. It's a strategic surrender to regain trust.
That makes a lot of sense. But once you face the music, how do you keep the team from spiraling?
That brings us to our 4th phrase, a drop in the bucket, which is really all about assessing scale.
Like looking at a $1 million budget cut and calling it a drop in the bucket compared to your massive overall R&D investment.
Exactly.
But wait, I have to push back here. Is casually dismissing $1 million as just a drop in the bucket a dangerous perspective to normalize? $1 million is a lot of capital to just shrug off.
It sounds reckless on the surface, absolutely. But in massive corporate environments, this phrase isn't about being careless with money. It's a cognitive load management tool.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, if your total R&D budget is billions of dollars, forcing your team to fixate on a $1 million variance can actually stall a vital, time-sensitive project.
So it establishes proportion so the team keeps their eyes on the macro-scale goals.
Right, rather than panicking over minor setbacks.
It's about protecting the team's momentum, which actually ties perfectly into the final strategic boundary every professional needs to set, which is knowing how to signal a pause without looking like you're quitting.
Ah, calling it a day.
Right. You've just spent 14 hours ironing out the main kinks in a complex software update. You need the team to rest.
And calling it a day is an essential boundary setting tool. It acknowledges that the immediate strategic objectives have been met.
And that pushing further will just yield diminishing returns.
Exactly. It gives high-intensity teams the psychological permission to power down and, preserve their cognitive resources for tomorrow.
So understanding the core logic behind these phrases really reveals the true intent behind corporate conversations. They dictate when a team prioritizes long-term leverage over short-term frustration, or cognitive preservation over panic.
Precisely. They are the invisible framework of corporate negotiation.
Which leaves you with a really provocative thought to chew on. If modern professional negotiations are governed by analog idioms about beans, wooden buckets, and burning bridges, how will our business language evolve as artificial intelligence takes over our daily workflows?
Wow, yeah.
Will the boardrooms of tomorrow abandon these phrases for idioms based on server loads, algorithms, and bandwidth? Until then, the next time you step into a meeting expecting mathematical precision, just remember you're still sitting down to play a very human game of poker.